372 pages we'll never get back. The Bad Book Podcast, where we read books that we don't think we're going to like. Mike, this is 2026. I don't even know what year of the podcast it is, but it is book 37 we're about to start right now.
Well, then I assume we started 37 years ago. I don't know how to count any different than that. Wow, we've been doing this for 37 years.
I was in middle school. It was that might have been grade school. Jeez.
We hadn't met for years, so that was tough.
My parents were concerned why I, as a 10-year-old, was talking to this man in his 20s on the dial-up internet we had at the time. Very strange.
I'm excited. New year, new book. All is good.
All is good, right? All is good. This is good.
Look at this face. It's not going to change at all during this announcement.
Well, I mean, last year had some. I think we pretty much covered every little genre we have on the podcast. We tackle Dan Brown books by people who have written books read by millions and made into movies by Ron Howard. We tackle weird books by authors who sued major books. The Muggles. We did self-published cozy mysteries, and we must have done one other.
We did Colleen Hoover.
Colleen Hoover. I mean, the biggest book in the world.
I just there was a movie on that was like recommended to me on one of I have streaming platforms, and it started and it was like Colleen Hoover's something, and I was like, Colleen, oh my God. It's like, of course, shut it off, but it was, so she's like above the title, like, yes. Meredith Wilson's Music Man. Who's Meredith Wilson? I don't know. Above the title.
Oh man. Well, so along those lines is so this is going to be a type of book that we've yet to do before, and not in terms of it being a self-published lunatic who has no business writing a book, but a genre, I guess, that we've not done before. But I posted that we were going to be recording this on our Patreon, and people sort of started guessing what the next book might be, and a bunch of people were like, "What about that Dungeon Crawler Carl book you mentioned a while back?" Which is like the newest name above the name above the title type of thing.
Yeah. What is his name?
I don't know the author's name, but it's the newest book that family members are recommending to me now, just as being like, well, you like that Douglas Adams guy, right? You ought to check this guy out. And I'm like, I don't think I'd like this book. That's like, if you liked Ready Player One, you might also like, yeah. But it's like the biggest sensation. It's it's in the top 10 on Amazon right now. Seth MacFarlane is going to make a TV series out of it.
Oh boy.
But there has to be a phenomenon for, I always think about Hamilton, where everyone's like, this is the best thing ever. It's just, I spent $500 on a ticket. It was worth every penny of it. Everyone says that, and I'm like, I bet it sucks.
It's always weird, like, most of the time stuff disappoints you. But sometimes people are like, you have to watch Breaking Bad. Like, I'm not going to watch that because you're telling me something. Then you watch it like 10 years later. Yeah, that was great. Okay. Or, you should buy one of those full pig legs, the Spanish hams, cured hams. Like, I'm not going to do that. Then you do it. It's like, yeah, that's good. But for the most part, people recommend things that you're not going to like.
And it was hard to, Lauren's sister wrote about that Dungeon Crawler Carl book over the weekend, I guess. She's like, I think people would like this. And I'm like, we were considering reading that book for our Terrible Book podcast. But that book is the true success story of a genre called LitRPG, short for literary role-playing games.
Right.
And I feel like since that's sort of the wave of the future, it's the bandwagon genre, it's the one that you're going to see everyone dressing as characters at Comic-Con, it probably is worth exploring a little bit of the LitRPG genre here on the podcast.
Now, when you hear LitRPG, do you immediately, oh, sounds great? Or do you want to go out with a double-barrel shotgun and just start blowing cans away and just just rage? Which? There's only there's only those two choices.
Exactly. Yes, that's the binary of so many things in life. But it's the sort of thing that doesn't necessarily bother you, but then you look and see how successful these authors are of these type of books on Amazon with the thousands and thousands. Not all of them have Dungeon Crawler Carl numbers, but you can publish seemingly just about anything and it will get just thousands, so many more than anything we've ever done, for just what seems like the thinnest gruel possible. So people are, nerds have never been more catered to, I feel like.
Oh, I feel like, yeah. They just have to sit there. You don't have to leave your house, and you can have everything will just be given to you. Don't worry.
Yeah, which is not what it was like 30 years ago when it was like Trekkies, like, ha ha, that's a punchline. You've got hot actors playing Star Trek characters. You've got hot Trekkies, I'm sure. So you would think that with that level of sort of societal acceptance, like your standards might raise a bit, but based on the brief foray I've done looking into these lit RPGs, it really just seems like it's like, nope, just,
slap these hogs.
The foie gras tube, like, give it to us. But let's get to that.
Okay.
I want to explain to you and our listeners sort of more about what lit RPG is about, because I assume still a lot of people are not familiar with it.
Yeah, this is one of those things like the cozy genre. I knew it existed, but I didn't. You don't spend 2 hours going, I wonder if this book links to this one. Like, oh my God, this is a huge thing. Like, there are literally 75 Corgi mystery series that we have never heard of. And lit RPG is one of those where, like, I guess I knew it was a thing, sort of, vaguely penetrated my skull. Now it's like, oh my God, of course it's a gigantic thing.
Yes. You turn over an old flower pot that's been on your patio and you'll see all the hundreds of type of bugs just sort of scurrying around. And we're like, I guess there's a lot going on down there. But it's very similar to the cozy world of Amazon sort of self-published authors. Every series automatically has over 24 books in it, even if the first one was published in November of last year. And people, that's the thing about the Rosier Point thing was just that book had 400 reviews, which seems like a lot for what it was, but they were all, the average rating was over 4. Yeah. So it was just, you wonder where people's standards are about this, because that book was objectively dreck. Like, so what are you rating one if that's a 4.5? Anyway,
that whole rating system thing that starts to irritate me. You ever get someone, you're like, hey, would you take our survey afterward? I'd really appreciate if you gave me 10 stars. I'm sure you would. But that means utter perfection. Like, you are not Olga Corbett here. I am not giving you 10 points. This is not a perfect mat routine. You didn't stick the landing, man. I'm giving you a 6. That's not so bad, is it? But that's apparently
Let's just see if there's any series where Olga Corbett is solving mysteries in her old age. That is probably, there's 3 of them. Okay. But yes, I agree. It's not a binary. There used to be room for nuance, but just, I guess the first time that started was Uberbs being like, anything less than 5 stars, we will deactivate account and somehow shock you through your car seat, like to punish you for.
eBay guys, you sold me some beef jerky. I don't think that's 10 stars. I don't think 99.9%.
Yes, delivered on a velvet pillow, white glove service install. But so when you realize that that's sort of what this is like, that there are no standards, it's what make any sort of book that does have the 1-star reviews creep in all the more appealing to us, I guess, just because it's like, wow, you've really let down the easiest audience out there.
How did you do this?
But so here's what lit RPG is all about, and this is Publishers Weekly, which sounds like a respectable thing. It also could be something that, but anyway, this guy is Connor Caustic, spelled the same way. He runs a UK lit RPG publisher, Level Up, and he defines the genre as they have an explicit attention to game mechanics in their respective worlds. Seeing the workings of the game, the amount of damage done, the experience gained, the choices after leveling up, all proves very entertaining. What is LitRPG? Well, it's often the reading equivalent of watching someone play a game on Twitch or YouTube.
Well.
I'd just like to refresh how the sentence before that ended. It all proves very entertaining. So,
Dostoevsky, 2 years he's done, and he's like, it does not simulate watching someone sitting on a couch playing a game. Scrap it, throw it in the trash heap. I'll start again. War and Peace and LitRPG.
Yeah, right. No one was crashing out after encountering a particularly hard boss in War and Peace. That's the sentence that I read this morning over breakfast coffee to Lauren when she was like, I've lasted maybe 2 minutes when I've wandered into the basement to try and do some yoga and found you down there. The idea of, but hey, I mean, again, YouTube streamers and Twitch streamers can buy and sell us. Their amount of concurrent viewers is just boggles the mind. Seinfeld finale ratings for any given time they play a video game. So.
I mean, we're talking, ladies and gentlemen, Beverly Hillbillies ratings here. That's the kind of numbers they're drawing.
Maybe with a slightly less highbrow humor on the Twitch streams, though. So
Beverly Hillbillies, 10 stars.
He goes on to say many of the books fall under the isekai subgenre, in which the protagonist is transported to a different realm. That's a Japanese term meaning another world. So we have, I think what we're about to read does fall under that genre. Here's another one. A author of LitRPG named David Dadlish said, writing LitRPG meant developing new skills, such as choosing the correct moment for a character to level up. With earlier novels, he'd often receive comments about how readers could practically hear the dice rolling in the background, or how the healing potions made it feel like a video game. At the time, these comments were seen as negative. But LitRPG, he says, has given him a space to unapologetically embrace gaming conventions. Society is sort of really critical of gaming and its conventions, so it's nice that there's a safe space for these people to really unleash their inner nerd, because at no point gaming has never been more unacceptable, I feel like.
So is this a genre where people take a nom de plumes, like, Betty Sue Weaver, mystery, or like, is there a standard, or is it just like, just use your name because it sounds pretty dorky right off the bat?
Are you calling out David Dadlish right there?
Well, I'm just wondering, is he making that? Is that a thing that you do?
I'm not sure if it's like Audric Orc Maimer.
Yes.
That's probably reserved for the characters in here, I would guess.
Yes, I think. Okay.
And so here's some more information from a Reddit explainer of what is LitRPG, probably in the LitRPG Reddit. As a genre, LitRPG prioritizes fun. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of drama, horror, terror, and grief. There just aren't a lot of pretensions. No one's trying to write the literary masterpieces, sick. They're trying to write stories that will appeal to the masses, gripping adventures that are easy to sink into and use as an escape from everyday life. And to sort of back this up, they use a quote from, I think, one of your favorite authors, Prue Ain't Two Forever. No, it's, as the great C.S. Lewis said...
Oh, dear. This isn't going to end well.
When I became a man, I put away childish things, including the fear of childishness.
Oh, that's very
so
G.K. Chesterton-y through C.S. Lewis. Wow, okay. That doesn't help me much, I'm afraid.
Well, they elaborate. It says, authors here aren't scared to pursue just about any premise that catches their imagination, and readers aren't scared to give something weird a try.
Are they telling us to just turn off our brains and enjoy it?
It's very much what it sounds like. Okay. Yeah. So that was always something they said about the Transformers movies. Just turn off your brain and let the annoying people yammer at the top of their lungs.
Why do you have to be so critical of it? Like, just enjoy it. That's the point. I'm trying. I can't.
Exactly. But they're talking here about books that that are 80,000 words long. So that's if you turn off your brain for the amount of time that takes, your family might start to be like, "Is there a DNR order? Like, what do we do?" His brain has been off for a week now as he's been reading this Audric Orkslayer novel.
That was one of the features. Maybe you're going to get to it, so if I'm spoiling it, I apologize. But the word count on that series from the guy Dirk the Dragon Slayer or whatever.
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Dungeon Crawler Carl started, like, okay, 80,000 words. I'm not on board, but 75,000 is considered a novel now. Mm-hmm. Then his next book, and it was like I looked at a Wikipedia page or something. 90,000 words. Okay, I don't like the trend. Next book, 110,000 words. Like, all right, settle down. Next book, 140,000 words. I'm not kidding. It's just like, stop it, man. Stop. I can't turn off my brain that many times.
Because it was written up in the New York Times, and I sent it to you saying we might have to read this. I'm glad we don't, because Dungeon Crawler Carl is hard for me to say. But yeah, it started off with 464 pages, then 300 pages. Rapidly escalated to 720, 832, and 880 by the last 3 books in the series.
I mean, I guess if they're going large print editions on that, I don't know. But I was assuming word count went up, but I'm guessing it does.
I don't think you get less self-indulgent as your sales equal the millions, but I made it.
Or maybe the editor's desk just got small, like he was at the desk, like, okay, I'm going to edit this down, and then, a little elbow from the guy, and he's pushed farther down the desk, and then at the end, like, okay, you just go ahead and write whatever, that's fine.
And then he says that one thing in the Reddit explainer, one thing I should add is that many of the books in this genre were first published serially, the digital heirs to a long-standing tradition. We once had a while where serial published works were unusual, but serial publications brought the world many of literature's past greats.
Don't do this. I know where this is going. Don't do this. Don't compare yourself to this.
Brought the public everything from The Count of Monte Cristo and Sherlock Holmes to the work of Charles Dickens, to early science fiction like Dune and The Time Machine. It's been out of style for several decades, but it's back, baby.
Well, that's like saying, he's dead now, so that puts him in league with Winston Churchill.
Yes.
George Washington. Like, okay, I mean, that is technically true.
Right. Or, he died of syphilis, putting him in line with many of the great Roman emperors who...
Yes.
So, I mean, why beat around the bush any longer if you are still listening? You probably are curious what we're going to be reading in this genre. And it's just a big wind up to even say this out loud, because it feels like something we would have said to each other back in 2008 when that Pruane 2 kid was making videos. But the book is Mayor of Noobtown by Ryan Rimmel. Noob, as in the person who's bad at video games. The slur, sometimes with 2 zeros in it, I think, hurled around the 2006 lolcat era internet.
Have you ever been seriously called a noob by anyone that you can recall?
I feel like it would be the sort of thing I'd wake up sweating about now still if it had ever really happened. But no, I never I never got pwned by a 13-year-old in Fortnite, so I don't think it's been something that's been branded to me.
I'm sure I think my sons would have been right about that when they were playing. They very sparsely played video games, but it was always revolting to his mother and I when they did, laying on a couch like listening on headphones, and you'd hear on the other side someone shouting, like a 12-year-old shouting noob in it. I'm like, what are you doing with your life? Take those off immediately.
So this is a pretty popular book. It has over 8,000 Goodreads ratings with an average of 4.07. For comparison, that's twice as many as Gump and Company had, Gump and Co.
Sure.
And as many of our other books combined, if you look at some of the other books we've read on here. And it has 6,600 Amazon ratings with an average of 4.4. So that's exceptional,
So these people, again, we'll have to dive back in. I always liked our little game of going to see what else these people rated and what their star system was. So like 5 stars for this, and A Tale of Two Cities, hard to get into.
Arrived late.
Stars. Yeah, came broken, 0 stars.
Yeah, it's probably worth doing that because, I think a lot of people who have read these books are going to have read other books in the genre, but if they do have more normal purchases in their history, we'll have to seek them out. But it does have just some reviews that start with great book, fantastic, a great start to a well-written and fun LitRPG series. But it also has a lot of the more recent Goodreads ratings were low, which is what sort of intrigued us to this one. It has reviews that start with, if you think naming someone a swear word is peak humor, this is definitely the book for you. It has one called, I love LitRPG, but...
Oh, dear.
So that's good. And then it has one that says, under my personal rating scale, this book is a 2. Meaning it is entirely forgettable and genuinely a waste of time. Upon another person's rating scale, it might be a 1 since it was very bad. I'm not sure what this person's rating scale would be for a 1, though. Like the book somehow poisons your mother or something.
Yeah, I think the calibrate your taste thing that we used to do was a good start for this, but that would be a nice one for this. Like, if someone writes, no one's a bigger fan of Hitler than I am. However... I think invading the Sudeten land might have been, his generals warned him against it. All right, we know where your bedrock is.
Right, but if you are a Hitler fan who is against invading the Sudeten land, it sort of is like, this was the bridge too far for you? Like, so I love LitRPG, but I hated Mayor of Noobtown.
Yeah, I know.
Sort of doesn't bode well if your standards are down where that is. And
that's where we got to see what else this person thinks. Like, what is 5 stars to you? If this is like, look, I'm a huge fan, but this is 2 stars. Like, okay, what is 5 in the LitRPG world?
So, just to calibrate your taste, have you ever played a RPG, whether that's tabletop or video game?
Sure. I think I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, very, very infrequently. I have there's a younger relative in my life who's constantly, every time I see him, like, hey, I don't see you online anymore. Like, anymore? I've never been. Like, you don't see me in your gaming rooms. Like, I know you have a console. Like, I have a 20-year-old console. Anyway, no, I don't. I don't play games.
Yeah, I mean, I've a friend in Vermont. Occasionally, there was probably 3 nights of playing Dungeons and Dragons that never really got further past making your character sheet. And I've played some video game RPGs, and it's not my preferred thing. I think it's a lot of menus. You're
what
like
is
navigating menus.
What's the classic example of a video version of RPG? I've never played the tabletop versions at all.
Okay. Well, yeah, Dungeons and Dragons is that, and I'm sure there's all sorts of things.
Many
Classic version. I mean, I am old school, so I think the defining the Citizen Kane of the genre would be Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger?
Chrono Trigger was a Super Nintendo game. It involved a lot of time travel throughout millions of years of time and a vast array of characters, robots, frogs. Cave women.
Would a choose-your-own-adventure book be considered even close to the genre?
Oh man, in that Reddit explainer, it explicitly said this sounds a lot like Choose Your Own Adventure, right? But it's not. Like,
okay, all right. Ooh, okay, dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, I don't think so. But it's you have to go, you defeat people, you gain experience points, you level up your stats, you get things that are better than that. I played through like probably half of Chrono Trigger last year and was just like, I don't know, what am I like? Lauren's like, we've got to go to the opera, and I'm like, I'm in the basement playing Chrono Trigger. What am I doing?
What when you level up, just more weapons, more power, more like what happens?
Sure.
You get a better sword.
Mm-hmm. Yep, more power, more dexterity, more charisma.
Sure, and you can jump higher. You can,
Yeah, higher, bigger, higher, faster, stronger.
Charisma is part of it?
Oh yeah, and I've never played one long enough to see how that factors into it, and I don't know whether that's like you're hotter or you're just more of a salesman kind of guy. You can convince people to do more stuff.
Do you get a sharper rat bone at a certain point? If you
oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Your rat bone whittling skills.
Okay.
What do you, I don't know if you get a better slut ranking in the
yeah. No, you're when you hurl that at a guy, it hurts worse. So that's
yes.
you level up. Like it's only a 1 at this level, but then it's like a 4. Listen, get out of my way, slut. Oh, you didn't have to call me that. Come on,
said the gigantic muscle-bound barbarian. So yeah, it's not obviously this is not a genre that we would willingly sit down and read, even if maybe we've played video games before and have enjoyed them. I think we just probably have other priorities. Others in the series include, so there's 8 books in the I don't know if it's the Noobtown series, but Village of Noobtown,
yeah.
Castle of the Noobs, Dungeons and Noobs, Noob Game Plus, Nautical Noobs, Tower of the Noobs, and The War of the Noobs.
Wow. Not really trying too hard there.
And I think that this is the most rated book in the series, but even the most recent ones have thousands of ratings, which means they have tens of thousands of readers, because there's the silent majority that are choosing not to read these. They're just, to review them, they're just reading them and quickly moving on to the next in the series because they just can't get enough noobs.
I'm one of those. How they send you follow-ups. They're like, please rate and review the sterno cans that you got. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go on record with my reputation and go like, they arrived intact and it was speedy, like 6 paragraphs. Now, day 1 with sterno cans.
Right.
I just 6 don't do it. As a rule, I don't review anything. Sorry, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. You're not the kind of guy who goes, it's update. It's been 6 months. The sterno cans continue to function whenever I have need of chafing, and they were popular at the family barbecue, though my uncle did try to drink from it, and I had to. However, he did get intoxicated, so if that is your use for these as well, the 5-star rating is maintained.
Blackened the underside of my wife's chafing dish. 0 stars. Update. I really wanted to like these cans.
Oh.
All right. Well, I look forward to this.
I guess so. It's going to be a whole new ball. I guess it's all new. This is sort of what Ready Player One was doing. You know, he was building stats and he pwned noobs, right? He pwned sucksores.
Oh, yes, for sure.
iRock.
For sure.
So, but I don't think it was as entirely focused on the lit art of the role-playing game as much as this is going to be. I think this is going to be some serious stat building and grinding and charisma farming. You mentioned that it has to, as part of the genre, I don't know if that was in the definition that you read, but that it has to reference RPGs in a pretty specific way, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think I'm going to be able to pick up on in those? Having zero knowledge of the genre, the subtle art of referencing the things is going to be tough for me. So just as long as everyone knows that going in. I just wanted we need to isolate the clip of you saying the subtle art of this, and we will see how subtle this art is going forward, because I think we're in for. I don't think we're. That's the thing. I don't think you need to really be a player to pick up on what he's going to be identifying here as the key RPG moments. I think it's going to be about as subtle as the Transformers movies were, where the humor in those directly underneath the robot scrotum kind of lines. Yeah, I feel like that's I think that's what we're going to be working with here, just based on my instincts.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing a new game and someone pulls out the instruction booklet and it's like a novella, and they're like, "Look, let's just play around and we'll all get it." Like, okay, all right. That's how this is going to be. Like, we'll just read a few chapters and I will probably get it. That should be fine.
Thinking about the subtleness, the earlier comment is, I remember when we went to see Ready Player One in the theater because we talked about it live, and it was a week or two into its run, so it was not very crowded. But there was a couple dudes in front of us who had a look about them, sort of comic book guy look about them, and you probably don't recall how the movie starts. But like the is it Spielberg, Amblin, or DreamWorks logo sort of fades away, and then like right out of the gate before anything happens, you hear the needle drop chords of "Jump" by Van Halen playing, and one of the two dudes just turns the other one, just goes yes. So I think that's the level of subtlety that they're appreciating. Be like, oh hell yeah, Jump! 1 billion Spotify stream.
It's like a guy at a baseball game doing scorekeeping, where you look over and like the whole family is doing the scorekeeping. Like this guy's like, okay, check that one off. I was hoping they'd play the opening chorus to Jump. Done. And he's got he's paging through everything. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I really hope they show a DeLorean. They show a DeLorean. Yes.
Yes.
Your comment about reading a book of instructions for a game reminded me. We had some people over, and we were going to play games with them over the holiday break, and it was like, what should we play with them? And we have a couple board games that have that type of thing, and it was just like, we can't really be trying to bring out this game Wingspan. We were like, okay, so you can lay an egg on your turn if your nest can accommodate them, but the nest has to be of this type. It can't be a stick nest. It has to be a platform nest. We're like, these are our neighbors. We can't be, they already think we're weird enough doing this podcast and all this stuff. We can't do this for them.
You see their eyes widening at like, oh, okay, and then would I get an egg? Like, no, look, the egg happens. It's like you have to roll it. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm sure I'll figure it out.
Yes. Then very quickly a text from the babysitter. Someone's sick. We've got to go home. Like, what? I didn't get a text. We're leaving now.
Turns out our house is flooded. Oh, that's too bad.
But the same neighbor over just to reinforce that, like, I like video games. I played Chrono Trigger last year, but this on New Year's Eve party, this same neighbor, she was talking about her kids love Stranger Things, and I was like, I was like, I watched the last 4. I can't do this. I'm 44. I can't watch these kids be running around and doing this. And she's like, you own a Game Genie, which is an old Nintendo peripheral. I'm like, it's like, there's really nothing you can do to rebut when someone sort of says that, like, critically, like. Be like, yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to better myself. I've been trying to meditate. You own a Game Genie. It's like, well, there's really no response.
Pretty telling. I guess I can say this in front of who cares. My wife got as gifted the biography of Lionel Richie.
Sorry.
Yes,
I didn't mean to.
She just reads a stupid Hollywood biography over the holidays is kind of her thing. Like and sometimes she'll read 2 or 3. So she'll have
a cozy.
Yeah, we'll have her on sometime, and she'll talk about. She's read about so many celebrities. Like, did you know? And like, no, I didn't, because I didn't read Lionel Richie's biography. But she said she was in with her hairdresser, and she's just like, there's nothing to talk about. Like, yeah, I'm reading Lionel Richie's biography. She starts that way, and this person goes, Lionel Richie, top 3 for me, top 3. She has to go, yeah, he's pretty great, I guess.
Right, because there's been no way that you would say that to someone without them being like, so you're also a huge fan. Otherwise,
of course, why would you be reading Lionel Richie's biography?
She could have meant like top 3 mustaches, and then Vincent Price and Burt Reynolds.
That guy is a piece of superior artistry great. I'm glad you agree. Same here.
Well, yeah, something you can throw back years later. Like, well, you read Lionel Richie's biography, so
it's true. Yeah, you don't really have a leg to stand on. My thoughts on Dickens are that you read Lionel Richie's biography. Okay. All right. You got me.
Tastes calibrated. Bridget read that, and I own a Game Genie. So
yes.
And we'll find something to criticize you about in here. I don't know what it is. You get the C.S. Lewis references, so it's you've got more of a leg to stand on. But hey, when I became a man, I guess I didn't put away childish things.
Yeah, he's quoting, that is the Bible, by the way, but
Oh, is it?
Yes.
So it's a C.S. Lewis, a Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott kind of quotation?
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Well, what do you expect from a guy who's doing a lengthy LitRPG explainer on Reddit? He might not have his facts straight.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited. How many words is this, by the way?
I think it ticks in just under 80,000. So
okay.
around those first dungeon crawler car, which that's middle of the road for us. I do think a lot of it might be RPG stats. So maybe sort of they might tend to pad things in that.
Are they skippable?
I guess we're gonna find out.
Okay.
I guess we're going to find out. It's a whole new world, LitRPG.
Okay. Yeah, it's a genre I have not taken on. I do not expect to like it, so mission accomplished in terms of our, yeah.
Well, welcome to Noobtown, everybody. It's going to be a wild ride.